In our previous video, we have seen the criteria and definitions needed for CPU scheduling and types of CPU scheduling algorithm, and we have introduced with the term non-preemptive and preemptive. In this algorithm, in this video, we will start with non-preemptive algorithm. We will start with FCFS, SJF, then we will go on one by one. In FCFS, we have taken 4 processes and arrival time of the process is 0, 2, 4 and 5. Burst time is 6, 3, 1 and 5. Okay. So, for our understanding, what I will do, we will consider that all the processes have arrived at 0th interval. Then we will see the effect on arrival time for FCFS. So, what we have assumed is there is no arrival time given. So, if no arrival time is given in your exam, what you can assume is all have arrived at the same time in the system. In actual sense, it doesn't happen that all process arrived at the system at the same time. Like class example, how I have given you. The moment 8:31 I am entering to your class, all of you are present. So my concern is 8:31 all of you are present. Now I will go to you first or to your friend first. It depends on us. I don't mind whether you have entered to the college at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Okay. So at the present moment in our ready queue, I have 4 processes. Burst time of the process is 6, 3, 1 and 5 respectively. Now we will see how is the NAT chart we can draw for FCFS where the arrival time is 0. What are the criteria we are considering? What all things we need to consider is given burst time, we have to calculate completion time, turnaround time and waiting time. Okay. So let us start. First process, just don't consider this. Okay. Assume it is 0. So burst time for first process is P1. As it is FCFS, we need to give the CPU one by one from the beginning. So first one is 6. While drawing the NAT chart, one very important thing you remember, your NAT chart starting should be always 0 and your NAT chart ending should be summation of this all. 6 plus 3, 9 plus 1, 10 plus 5, 15. So if it is after drawing it, if it is not coming 15 means you have done wrong, whatever may be the algorithm you are following. So if burst time is 6 for P1, how to draw the NAT chart is, see, I can divide it into around approximately 3. So 5 will come here. I am not telling you to take a scale and do it, but still I will tell 1. If it is just 1, it should have some difference, 1 or 2, it should have some difference in length with respect to 5. So P1 has executed from 0 to 6. Okay. Now next arrival is for P2. Not next arrival. We are assuming all arrival times are 0 only. But what I am telling you is it is FCFS, one by one it will be continued. So after P1, P2 will be taken, then P3, then P4. So next process to be taken for execution means attached with CPU is your next process, that is P2. So FCFS, if arrival time is 0, you need to just draw like that. P1, P2, P3, P4. See the burst time. Here it is a diagram for how much time they were attached with CPU. Okay. So that is nothing but your burst time. So 6 for P3, P2 it is how much? For P2 it is 3. So P2 it is 3. For P3, see how I have drawn. P3 it is only 1, so it should be little small and it is ending at 6 plus, sorry, I should write here 6 plus 3. So I should together write it as 9. Then this is 10 and P4 is how much? 5. So P4 is 5. So it is 15. Now the thing is how I will calculate. So before I calculate, my drawing is now done. So I will write here P1, now P2, now it is P3 and it is P4. What is the time we got? I will revise once while writing. I will revise once. See, P1 has burst time 6. So 0 to 6 it has executed. Now P2's burst time is 3. So 6 plus 3 it is, we are writing CPU time. CPU time is, CPU has given first 6 units of time for P1, then next 3 units of time for P2, because P2 requires 3 units of CPU time. So 6 plus 3, it is 9. P3 requires 1 unit of CPU time. So CPU has given 1 unit for 3. So 1 unit means 1 more unit should be added. And for P4 it is how much time? 5 minutes time. 5 units of time P4 is required for P4 requires CPU. So this. So your NAT chart is drawn. Now let us consider the completion time and turnaround time, and we'll finalize. So in this case we are just now assuming that arrival time for all the processes are 0, and NAT chart is already drawn. So let us calculate completion time. So when P1 has completed at 6th unit of time, P1 has completed, okay. P2 has completed when? At 9th instance of time, P3 10th instance of time, and P4 15th instance of time. And one more thing you please note down here. See, arrival time is 0. So we can just like that I can write here, at this instance of time I had P1, P2, P3 and P4. All the processes were present at the 0th instance of time. So their starting time for all it is 0. Okay. So ending time obviously with respect to 0, wherever they are completing, that is only their completion time. Okay. One more important thing I will tell you, that is see, turnaround time and completion time, especially for the case of FCFS and SJF, it will be same if arrival time is 0. Let us see. See, turnaround time is what we told, it is submission time to completion time. Because submission is 0 for all, so with respect to all we are calculating this. So obviously these are the values for the turnaround time for all this. So it will be 6 only here, 9 here, it will be 10 here, and it will be 15. So say 0 to 6, at the point of 6 P1 has terminated. At the point of 9 instance of time P2 has terminated. Okay. What is waiting time? All have arrived at instance of time 0. Okay. So how long P1 has waited? P1 has not waited. I entered to class at 8:31. At that moment all 4 were present. That reference time 8:31. Here I am taking 0. You don't think that it is an initial time. It is a time when I am starting, when I am seeing you. 4 are friends. I am seeing you from time 8:31. So 8:31 I have taken as reference time 0. So actually in present process state case, what like when I am starting CPU scheduling, so long-term schedule, short-term scheduler is starting CPU scheduling. At that moment all 4 processes were present. So waiting time will be calculated with respect to 0. So for P1, no waiting time. It has not waited at the time of 0. It has taken for execution. What about P2? P2 has waited from here to there because P2 also was present at instance 0. So P2's starting time is nothing but the waiting time for P2. Is it clear? P2 has waited up to that. So in that NAT chart, just take the starting time of the process for the case of at least when the arrival is 0 and it is FCFS. So P2 waiting time is 0, 0 to 6 it is, waiting time is 6, 0 to 6 it has waited. For P3, waiting time is 0 to 9, from 9 it has got CPU. So P0 it will be 0, P1 it will be 6, P2 it will be 9, and P3 it will be 9, and P4 when it was taken for execution 10. Is it clear? P1 immediately got executed, so no waiting time, it is 0 minus 0. P2 has waited for P1 to execute, so it has started from 6, entered at 0, so it is 6 minus 0. P3 has taken for execution from 9 and it has entered to the system at 0th instance of time, so 9 minus 0. Why I am writing that minus thing? It will be clear when I will consider arrival time. Okay. Now when what about P4? When it is P4, it has started at 10 and arrived at 0. So 10 minus 0. This is the time it has waited. Hopefully it is clear. Now I will just remove this and I will consider the arrival time. Why I have taken it 0? Because it is a first problem. If I consider arrival time, it will be a problem. Next thing is, in your exam, they may give arrival time like that, or they may give arrival time 0. So for FCFS, there are two types of problem can come. One is arrival time 0 and another one is some arrival time will be given. Only these two types of problem are possible for FCFS. Now we'll consider the arrival time. Please remember, here mode we are considering as non-preemptive. It is non-preemptive. Once the CPU is given, we cannot take the CPU back. At the 0th instance of time, we had only P1 in the system, so P1 will be taken for execution. As it is non-preemptive, so once the CPU is given, CPU cannot be taken out. So CPU will be given how long? This is the time CPU is given to the process. NAT chart or Gantt chart consists of the time CPU is given. So time wise you need to write the process. Then your work is to calculate all those things. Burst time is 6, so CPU is given. One surprising thing you notice, second process arrived at instance 2, third is at 4 and fourth is at 5. But when P1 has completed at instance 6, so by the time P1 gets completed, all those processes have arrived, because 5, 4 and 2 all are less than 6. Same, you take the watch. If 9 o'clock we have started, 9 6 P1 has completed, 9 2 P1 has entered, 9 4 P2 has and P3 has entered, 9 5 P4 has entered. So obviously 9 5 is less than 9 6, so P1 will be executing. As it is FCFS, so all the processes will be taken to the CPU according to their arrival order. So obviously next P2 will be taken, then P3, then P4. Then there will obviously P2 will take 2 units of CPU, P2 will take 3 units of CPU time. The thing is, while doing the problem, you may get confused between arrival time and burst time. There is no consideration of arrival time in this while writing. Arrival time will be considered to know that at that instance of time which are the processes present. At up to 6 here only we had process P1, but at the point of time I have all the processes P2, P3 and P4 present in the system. So according to their order we could have taken. Now when it will vary, suppose this process arrival time is 8. Let us assume. If it is 8, what will happen? At that moment of time, P2 will not be there in the picture. That is another type of problem I am talking about. Even though I will solve it. So at that moment, P2 will not be there. P2 will be arriving somewhere here. So at this moment, P3 and P4 will be there. So according to arrival order, after P1, P3 entered, then P4 entered. So P3 will be taken for execution. Then who has entered? P4. Then P2 has entered. So in this case, arrival order is changing your FCFS order, because FCFS is nothing but your arrival order. But arrival order does not mean that in this order will be according to the increasing order. There may be 1 8 also here. So in this case, their arrival order will be 0 4 5. Then you need to consider P2. So in your chart you should draw P1, then P3, then P4. So only in this case FCFS may vary if arrival is not given in order. Please forget that part. What you should do is you don't consider such things. Now I told you because you may have like GATE exam or some other competitive exam, to confuse you they might have given, so that you may not notice and you may start continuing the order P1, P2, P3, P4. That is why I have mentioned. So come back, don't get confused. So this is the arrival order. So you have understood that, sorry, this is the burst time. So you have understood see again I am telling this should be 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5, so it will end with 15. Sometimes instead of burst time, by mistake if you consider arrival time, anyhow calculation wise it will not match. Your first work is to consider the sum of this and draw it and write the initial point and the end point. Okay, then there will not be any mistake. Consider the completion time. So what is your completion time here? Completion time will remain same. Completion time will be as usual, it will be 6. This is also 9 from the diagram you can see. Again and again I am telling these are the burst time. In the chart while drawing you should have only process and their burst time, no other thing. Arrival is for consideration which one will be taken first or second, but it will not appear in the Gantt chart. So 10. So completion time for P4 is 15. What is the turnaround time? Now you see this will play an important role. When we are considering turnaround time, it is submission to completion when P1 has submitted at 0th instance of time, when it has executed at 6th. So your turnaround time will be 6 minus 0, no confusion in that. But in the case of P2, when is the completion time? Please write the completion time. I will suggest you see the completion time and write it as left side of the subtraction. Okay. Then you subtract the arrival time to avoid your confusion. What is your arrival time for P2? 2. What is arrival time of P3? 4. What is arrival time of P4? That is 5. See here at this why it is affecting, because earlier when the arrival time was 0, so P2 was waiting from this point of time. Now P2 has not arrived here. P2 has arrived at somewhere here. P2 has arrived somewhere here. So P2 has waited, if it is 2. So 2 to 6 P2 has waited. Sorry, I am not telling waiting. So P2 has started here and P2 has completed here. So when it has submitted 2, when it has completed 9, so it is 9 minus 2. Similarly P3, when it has entered somewhere here, P3 has entered, and from here to it has executed here. So 10 minus 4. Similarly for P4, 15 it has completed, and when it has entered at 5th instance of time. So 15 minus 5. So that is your turnaround time. What is your waiting time now? Waiting time is P1 has not waited. Immediately after entering at 0, it has arrival time is 0 and taken for execution also 0. So 0 minus 0, it will be 0 only. What about P2? P2 has entered to the system at 2 and it has taken for execution at 6. So 2 to 6 is the waiting time. Clear? So in this case, what I will suggest you is take the initial time, starting time of the process and write it in the left hand side of the subtraction. Take 9 for P3, take 10 for P4 to avoid your confusion. Just subtract arrival time blindly. 2, here it is 4 and here it is 5. Now let us make it clear once again. 6 it has taken for execution. So from 6 to 9 is execution for P2. It is not waiting for P2. Okay. When is the waiting time for P2? When P2 has waited, it has entered to the system at 292 and it has taken for execution at 96. So 229 to 96 is the waiting time for P2. Okay. If you have entered to the college at 8:15 and your class started at 8:31. Okay. So 8:15 to 8:31 is your waiting time. Clear? If your college ends at 10 o'clock then and teacher was continuously being with you from 8:31 to 10 o'clock, then your turnaround time will be 8:15 to 10 o'clock. But your waiting time will be 8:15 to 8:31 when teacher was not with you, assuming that teacher is CPU. Okay. So hopefully your FCFS is Clear.